Hello, you're listening to Poop, There It Is. And I'm your host, Michelle John. For the past 3 months, I've been studying abroad in India. I knew I was going to face many challenges, but little did I know that I would not know how to pee in India. Where was the toilet paper? How do you flush this thing? I was clearly the foreigner, an outsider, because everyone else seemed to know how to use the bathroom. It wasn't only that I didn't know how to use a squat toilet, but oftentimes I couldn't find a public bathroom while grocery shopping or hanging out at a cafe. As a woman who grew up in the United States and attends a private liberal arts college, I never had a problem finding a public restroom. I began to wonder if local women in Madurai experienced the same challenge. So I began asking them about their experiences and stories about accessing public restrooms. In addition to Indian women, I chatted with an Indian American man who understood what it was like to be a foreigner, but also a man in India. I'm not imposing my own thoughts, but trying to highlight local feminist thought in this radio segment. The streets of Madurai are busy from 7 a.m. to as late as 10 p.m. People hustle and bustle to get to work, to school, or to run errands. Oftentimes, I will see women selling flowers, fruit, or vegetables on the side of the street or in the public market. For the most part, women are the ones running household errands, such as grocery shopping. Women in Madurai occupy public spaces for most of the day, yet they do not have the same access to public spaces as men do. This includes access to public bathrooms. Nirmala, the Outreach and Operations Manager at South India Term Abroad, talked a bit about the challenge of finding public bathrooms.
Many of the places they don't have a public restroom, especially for women. You have to go and search for a long time for a public toilet. It is not very commonly available anywhere.
As a result, women are affected on a daily basis. Professor of Sociology at Lady Doak College, Anita Tiffane, commented on the social implications of the lack of public restrooms.
The amount of time women can spend in public becomes restricted. Because you know you're not going to be comfortable.
Ted, an Indian American anthropologist who has lived and studied in Madurai for more than 6 non-consecutive years, explained how the lack of toilets can impact women's occupancy of public spaces other than the market and street stalls. Bathroom inaccessibility is present in schools, thereby creating inadequate learning environments.
Yes, I think that, one of the biggest issues for young women to be able to participate in educational spaces, to be able to get that education, is if they don't have the proper facilities to use the toilet, then it's clearly a barrier. I mean, that's several days that they can't be at school.
Ajitha, a local from Madurai, detailed how she was affected by the poor bathroom facilities while attending high school.
I studied in an all-girls high school in Madurai, and that school, they don't have enough toilets to accommodate all the students. Some students, they can't hold it in, so they just pee everywhere and shit everywhere. I never visited the toilet for 4 years when I was studying there.
The public sphere is oftentimes difficult for women to penetrate in India. The public space was not created in favor of women. What could be the reason? Why do women struggle to find a space in which they can conduct a basic human function?
Most of anything that happens in India is going to be designed by a lot of men. Is there a gender-sensitive approach? Definitely not.
Anita attributed the lack of bathrooms for women to the male influence in social and institutional decision-making. Shruti, an undergraduate student whose hometown is Madurai, equated it to a greater and older social issue.
In terms of cultural thing, it's the gender, because obviously India is a patriarchal society. The problem lies deep inside.
This leads to the question of male privilege and its relevance to public restroom accessibility. It is not uncommon to see a man pee on the side of the street. Men in India are never without a bathroom. Any open space can instantly be transformed into a urinal.
They are, in some ways, exerting their own male privilege by being able to pee on the side of the road. I don't think that I have ever been in a situation where I have had to worry about lack of access.
While it was a shock to me, the sight of a man openly peeing was normalized to many, if not all, Indians. How did the act of peeing openly translate into male privilege? What did Indian women think about this disparity in gendered access to restrooms?
I've seen a generation not questioning it.
Anita provided an explanation as to why the issue of men peeing on the side of the street has not been addressed.
Women, because we are brought up not to question male authority so much that you don't question. You say, oh yeah, they do that. It's also something that you can't complain about, you don't complain about, because men don't take it seriously.
Similar to what Anita claimed, Ajita did not speak out against the men who participated in this behavior.
In Delhi, two women, they pointed that out to a man. Two men actually peeing on the road, and these men, after finished peeing, these girls were on their rickshaws. So they came after them, these girls, and then they pulled their hair, it seems, harassing them. Who are you to say all that? Like, what right do you have?
Women are frustrated with the lack of bathrooms, and they are aware that men have the privilege to pee wherever they please. However, the environment and society creates an atmosphere where women feel that they are unable to express their thoughts and opinions because of possible repercussions. Women's inaccessibility to bathrooms may not seem obvious at first, but that's not to say it isn't a legitimate issue. It's important to create a public space that can be occupied by both women and men, and that which accommodates to bodily functions, regardless of gender. What's the point in trying to get women in public if you don't have the means for them to pee? Thanks for listening, and stay tuned for the next episode in the series of Poop, There It Is.